Hello, hello, hello. This is Nina.
That sounds completely different, doesn't it?
Yes.
It sounds so different. It's like two different
Right?
people.
Sounds like we're in the same studio. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It does.
Before, when you were trying to work the computer, you sounded like every woman at my office. How do I get this spangled thing? I'm mushing the mouse button. I'm looking for the any key. Where's the any key?
Exactly so. Exactly so.
All right, so we're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff with you, but
We talk about anything you want. There's nothing that I will not probably have an opinion on.
okay. Well, how about this? We'll start with this one. You're not allowed to hang up though. My wife,
Okay.
my wife doesn't understand why anyone would do porn or have sex in front of
Okay.
people.
I get it. That's a very valid question because it's something I've been answering my whole career.
Right.
And the simple answer is I am an exhibitionist more than any stage actor. I'm a performer, and all performers are exhibitionistic. We want people's attention. The sex aspect of it for me personally is that I'm also a queer person, and sexuality, sex performance, sex expression, sexual freedom, sexual health, all those are my primary interests in life. My father once said, why sex, why not the violin? And if I was as into the violin as I am into sex, I'd be Yitzhak Perlman as a woman. I mean, so I really, sex is my thing.
Right.
But the question of why have sex on camera versus study in a laboratory or just be a righteous slut in my private life is that I'm an exhibitionist. And sex is a skill that you have to be able to see in order to learn some nuances of things. As a nurse, my desire is to help people attain more satisfaction out of their sexual expression and to help them through the bumpy bits and give them information and permission and instruction. And that's easier done. You can read about, changing the carburetor on your automobile, but it's much easier to do so with a video commentary, with an actual carburetor and the actual model of the car upon which you are working. It is helpful, more helpful. So, and I make movies so that people like your wife, who would never, ever in a million years have anybody watch her have sex besides you, I'm there to provide amusement, arousal, a shared experience for people who are never going to do what I do. I go to doctors because I want someone who lives in doctor land, and I live in entertainment land, right, for people who want to, pop open the cabinet door and take down a box of Hamburger Helper. So that's what I'm doing. So how can anyone do porn? Because I'm weird that way.
Why do you think, Nina, why do you think women in general, like a lot of women, like I know, like my girlfriend does, I mean, a lot of women do, why do they have such a problem with guys, guys watching porn? Like it's just because guys watch porn, and we like to watch porn, and that's just the way it is. And women just,
because it makes them feel insecure about their own bodies.
But they're not going out and cheating. They're just watching some tape, and then the tape gets put back in the drawer.
Yeah, and then you have this expectation in your mind, okay? And you see these like beautiful women who've never had kids, no stretch marks, okay? And then you go to bed.
There are plenty of women in porn who are mothers that have stretch marks. But I hear what you're saying. So please tell me your name again, young woman.
Denise.
I lost your name.
Denise.
Denise. Hello, Denise. It's there on the title of the pod. Denise. See here with Denise.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your name right here in front of me on my little screen. So yes, Denise, I hear what you're saying. So a couple of things. Let's unpack that, valise. All media attempts to influence the consumer of said media by any means possible. That's what their job is. Their job is to influence your purchasing, your penis, your political attitudes, whatever. So on one hand, there is my experience as a woman watching my partner watch my partner have an experience, and that triggers insecurity. There's two separate things. There's my partner's behavior and then my feeling. My feeling of insecurity is not for him to manage. It's for me to address, to look at, to figure out, what's the real issue here? So the initial thing is I get a feeling in my body, a pit in my a tightening in my stomach, a tightness of my chest, a memory of something I didn't like, and that's a feeling that I have. Immediately, instead of addressing the feeling, it goes to the front part of the brain and say, well, if he removes that behavior, I won't have to address this feeling. But the feeling's already there. So we'll talk about his use of pornography in a moment. So there's my responsibility as an individual person to address my own feelings and offer myself care, especially about insecurity about bodies, because that did not come from my boyfriend. That probably came when I was 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 years old, wherever body consciousness comes on. There's that. Secondly, watching porn, it is also very true that men who watch porn have very inflated ideas of what they're supposed to be able to do. Most men do not have a 7 to 10-inch penis that will be hard for 1 hour and 10 minutes of relentless pounding, ready to get hard at the drop of a hat while having sex on a staircase. So there is the woman's experience of, oh my gosh, they're so beautiful, I could never live up to that, versus that's pretty, but I know he prefers a real person. And his idea, oh my gosh, I'll never be able to satisfy a girl like that because my penis is not that big and I can't last that long. And him feeling insecure about his performance. In the end, there are there is the porn I watch for my own masturbation, my own amusement, my own boredom, whatever. And then there is the experience I bring and the energy I bring to my actual encounter with my actual lover in the actual moment. And in that moment, unless you're actually looking at porn together, but when that's done, eventually you and another person are alone together. What are you gonna do? Because it's not about the movie then. It's not about whose mother left, whose daddy when. It's like, what are we gonna do as adults right now to show ourselves a good time, offer a little grace, stand up for what it is we want, set our boundaries, and say, okay, let's go have fun.
What about
so why do women get mad at guys watching porn? Because partly they have been told that they are supposed to feel bad about guys watching porn. Secondly, we've been fed a bill of goods that men and women are enemies. There's, the battle of the sexes. Men are from Mars, women from Venus. It's so confusing. And then the whole patriarchal Abrahamic religion thing about the purpose of sexuality and women as chattel property and the whole brouhaha over the so-called patriarchy. When women are given full sexual freedom, i.e., no more slut shaming, no more, what were you wearing? When women are granted sexual autonomy, as opposed to they have to have value from a man, they can relax a lot about porn. Now, that being said, if the guy is watching porn and not making love to his girlfriend and letting her know how hot he finds her, then he's being a jerk.
Right.
And a bad boyfriend. And she can get mad at him for being a bad boyfriend.
What about if the wife doesn't want to give it up enough?
Say that again?
The wife doesn't want to give you sex as much as you need it, so you just watch porn on the side.
That's because Paul's a shitty lover, so.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why.
That's because he's a nympho.
No, so exactly. So then now I'm a nurse, and I'm all about practical solutions. So and this is about, again, how you build your playground. So on one hand of the playground of the fictional husband and wife is they each have an expectation and a desire for physical monogamy. So no cheating. So we're just going to take that off the table right now. No one's cheating. No one's going to strip clubs. No one's sexually harassing coworkers. People are acting like grown-ups. That's one wall. The second wall is we have a libido discrepancy. The third wall is we may have kids. We have practical things, kids, job, who's going to pick up the dry clean, that kind of thing. And so given all that, what is the shape of our playground? Plus, I want to spend more time with you. I want more sexual intimacy. So, okay, now, wow, that's an interesting looking playground, very gerrymandered. What can we do here? So, sweetheart, lower libido person says, sweetheart, I'm totally down for making love once a week. And we'll make sure we have a plan a day, get the kids off to a sitter, and we will just spend time together. And one time a week, you just go and watch some porn, sweetheart. You just have fun, darling, because I have to do the fucking laundry and I cannot be bothered. And the third time, I will agree to be next to you in the bed and I'll read a dirty story or lay next to you naked or otherwise be supportive and complimentary to your efforts, and then we can go to sleep, okay? So each couple, if they're going to turn to monogamy, turning to each other for comfort, for support, for working through problems with stout heart and good cheer, and we generally like each other, right? And so we're going to try to work toward a mutually satisfying compromise, because life is real and we got shit to do, and this is the choices we made. So any couple who does not already hate each other should in good conscience be able, over the course of 3 to 5 conversations, figure out what might constitute a coming together of attitudes and a supporting behavior. I won't hate you for not fucking me 3 times a week, and you won't hate me for looking at porn twice a week. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So do you think?
Care. Look at porn all you want. Just don't bother.
Right, exactly. And also, and so the woman, if for a woman who doesn't like a guy looking at porn, it's like, okay, well, when we're together, do I feel he's with me? Do I feel like he's making love with me,
yes.
Nina, and not big busty Barbie? So do I feel that he's in the same room with me? That's all I would want from my partner. I don't care what they're thinking, as long as I feel that we're experiencing something together. I give my partners mental privacy because I need mental privacy. I will not tell you every fantasy I have because I don't want that conversation. It doesn't matter why I fantasize that. It's making me hot. Don't stop.
You see, with guys, it's a physical thing. With women, it's a brain thing. You know what I mean? So guys, we get off because we want to get off. We don't sit there and we're not in love with who's on the screen. We're just watching it for that 10 minutes, and that's the end of it. We don't give a shit after that.
That is something. And that is something that drives a lot of women crazy. And this is where I'm an intergendered person. I look very female, but I understand sex at a fundamental level. So women are taught that the prince on a white horse is real, and if you love me now, you love me forever, and you'll never want to stray. And the passion we had in the first 6 months of our relationship is going to last through 8 years and 2 kids. Absolutely, no worries about it. Because you love me, right? And yet. Right. So as a stripper, I saw a lot of guys who were married, and as someone herself who is not monogamous and can understand that anybody can be fun anybody can be hot once in a while or one time only, because humans like novelty, and sap runs in the tree, and the right the right stimulus comes along and you get a pop a woody. And what I always want to take women by the shoulders and shake them, because it's the guys, I say, get the blowjob. Oh, I've never paid for it before. You pay for it one way or the other. And she says,
$4,000 a month on my mortgage.
Well, no, he says,
but honey, one reason why I don't want to have sex with you. You just named it.
So the guy, says, honestly, sweetheart, it was just a blowjob. It didn't mean anything. In women's culture, we're not, for fear of slut shaming, we're not permitted to have sex just because we're horny, because then we're sluts. And so it has to mean something. So our experience as a conditioned female in our culture, how can it not mean anything? Because she herself would never cheat, air quotes, if it didn't mean something, because she's not allowed to be just horny for a nut. And so he, because being a guy and because culture, he can't believe that she doesn't understand that there's the love sex I have with you, sweetheart, and then there's my dick was hard. It was over in 6 minutes.
Exactly.
And so for a guy, the random blowjob does not outweigh 2, 4, 6, 12 years together, kids and property. It just doesn't. And so for the culture to say that it must, or she's a yunce, is ridiculous. Hillary Clinton took a lot of gaff for staying with Bill over the affair, but marriage is a partnership and a long-term business arrangement, as well as young, passionate love. They had the young, passionate love time, and they have a baby for it. And now they're grandparents. Yay, them. But over time, I'm now old enough, God, to have lived through 2 long-term relationships, and one being a healthy intimacy. And I see that it does grow and change over time. And one of the things you have to do is you decide what aspects of your differences are you going to accommodate, and how. As much as I love my husband, at some very fundamental part of our natures, we are not each other's types, air quotes around the word types. And luckily, we're also not sexually exclusive, so we can get enough of the other thing other places that it doesn't make us look at each other and go, what's wrong with you? So, but when you are committing to monogamy, you have to allow, it is useful, to allow for the fact that people do grow and change over time, and aspects of their sexuality will change, and the nature of it might change over time. And how can we keep having the conversation? We can't keep having the sex we had when we were first together with no kids and in our 20s and fucking like monkeys. And then the kind of intimacy that you develop over time with kids and responsibility, but you still like each other, it's going to look and act differently, but it's going to feel more satisfying, because it's all the fun of the squirting and the orgasm with the deep understanding that this person's also really cool and I know they like me.
Yeah.
Like they really like me. I mean, they held my head when I was puking like me. So that's a nice feeling. But if a guy, as long as the person who's upset over porn is actually getting the sex that they need, the intimacy that they need, the attention that they need, I really think someone getting upset over porn watching is a little not okay.
Yeah, it's retarded. If they're, like you said, if they're watching porn and not having sex with their wife, then that's a problem.
But if you're doing if this is on your own time, meaning your partner's had her 3 orgasms that week or whatever I mean she likes to have, then yeah, I think a little wanking before you go take a shower it's fine. I'm fine. I will give my partner pornography, but I'm weird that way, and so I do try to understand it from a conventional person's point of view. And even then, I always try to opt on the side of giving my partner a benefit of the doubt. If they're not being a dick about it, I will take the responsibility of handling whatever emotions come up and letting you know what I need from you to help me not feel that way anymore.
Yeah, our biggest problem is that
he's a dick.
Yeah,
I'm a dick.
Paul's
yeah.
a dick.
No, our biggest problem. I actually mentioned this to you when we met you at Exotica a couple of months ago. Is my wife's in the middle of menopause right now, so she's not like into it so much. But meanwhile, I'm 10 years younger than her, and I'm still hot for her. But she's like, yeah, once a week is okay, but I would like more,
Well, of course, now we're talking about your personal life in front of everybody.
We don't care.
So if you were somebody, so yay you, I'm glad you're hot for your wife. Yay you. Woo, good. So now speaking from the point of view of and I'm assuming that physical monogamy is a mutual desire of both of yours. So that I can't say, oh, get something on the side. So that's not happening. So here you are in this environment that you've made for yourself. Because I have a friend, and she, in her younger, before menopause, she was a mink. She loved sex, very experimental, lots and lots of fun. Ran pansexual sex parties. I mean, she was in the thick of it. She was giving it her all. And then she said, when she hit menopause, she said it flipped off like a switch. Click. She doesn't miss sexual desire. She does not want it to come back. She's not sad about it. She feels fine. She feels fine. Her body no longer needs, craves, wants to have that orgasmic experience. Luckily for her, she is poly, and her long-term partner, and they have formed a triad with someone who is still very much in sex mode. And so she and the male partner are sexual partners, of course, and the three of them make a family together. But that's the queer way of handling that. But for her, but I know her, if she was also monogamous, she would make sure to at least one extra time per week participate in some sexual thing with the male partner, because she loves him and doesn't want him to feel deprived. So if your wife doesn't want to have more than one orgasm a week, might she then at least dress up sexy and let you snuggle next to her while you masturbate, or read you a dirty story while you lay next to her and masturbate, or just be in the room with you, give you some nice vibes.
Or
if I don't have to,
or jerk them off, maybe.
Exactly so, yeah. Because often for women, as they get older, also having orgasm might get a little bit more difficult. So if I don't have to come for you to have a good time, I'm happy to do something sexual with you. But if I have to go through the entire process myself, then it feels like work. I don't want to do it. So if you can be happy with her only having one orgasm a week, and she can step up to being sexual with you if she doesn't have to come or get fucked, once a week and you look at porn twice a week, that seems a nice compromise. And try that for 4 to 6 months and see how that might change, things. So you work toward each other.
I'll get on all fours, and you can have me like at least 3 times a week, as long as I don't have to look at you.
Poor Paul. He deserves it though.
I've actually turned hand jobs down from her because I want to fuck her.
Oh, but see, I really like that idea because that way, Denise, for you, he's not Paul. He's a self-guided dildo.
Exactly. Anybody I want him to be.
I've been called that before.
Exactly. So Denise gets it. Doggy is that way. That way you can be anybody. You could be Joe Manganiello, and I could pretend I'm Sofia Vergara. Oh my God, I want to be a fly on the wall for that fuck. Oh my God. I don't even have to join in. I just want to watch them make love because, man, talk about the most attractive heterosexual couple you ever did see. Woo!
It's funny because my wife Denise says she doesn't like watching porn. We've watched it together once or twice in like the whole 20 years we've been together. But I had an animal porn tape someone gave me. It was 2 hours long. She sat and watched the whole thing, and then
I was intrigued by it because I've never seen anything like that before.
I know. Isn't that the craziest thing?
It is.
But how Mother Nature just. How does Mother Nature come up with all these different ways to fuck, right?
It was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
For
I just
2
had
hours.
to experience it.
When you realize that human beings are just a fancy kind of monkey, and that that the human desire for intimacy, friction, orgasm, release, whatever, pleasure, is universal, and the stories we tell ourselves about it are purely cultural. The stories we tell ourselves about sex, what does it mean, etc., are all put into us by our dominant culture, our families of origin, and they can be mutated. The stories can be mutated to fit our actual needs and our actual situations, as long as all the people involved are consenting and agreeing to it and getting positive stuff out of it. It doesn't matter what it actually is doing. In my view, but then again, I make porn and people have seen the inside of my butt. So I mean,
don't you think that porn has stopped rapes happening because the people that are going to do that will just watch porn and that'll be the end of it?
I don't really know actually much about that because rapists are rapists not because they're sexually frustrated, but because they are on a power trip.
Oh, really?
And they got issues and they have anger issues. But I know that all porn does when it's done right is to inspire the solitary vice of masturbation, after which comes sleep.
That's why Andrew sleeps a lot.
Oh, Andrew, yeah.
Andrew used to be married to a lady from Trinidad, and she only used to give him anal sex because she didn't want to get pregnant. And then after the 2 years was up, she got her green card and she fucked off to Florida. So he got 2 years of anal sex, and since then he's been a poor, lonely boy.
But 2 years of anal sex and no baby to support. Woo, woo.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think strip clubs are much worse than porn? Women hate strip clubs, but guys go there. It's like anonymous. It's not like you're going to go back to the girl's house or get a phone number.
I think strip clubs are the biggest ripoff of men that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Didn't you used to work in a strip club?
Absolutely.
She did it
No, really. For the price of a big fancy night out, you're going to spend what? $150, $200?
Yep.
Parking, valet, drinks, dinner, tips, all the $200 tops for a whole night out.
Yep.
You can get the blowjob for $200 and be home in an hour.
I can give my wife $100 and get a blowjob, and that's the.
There you go.
Well, there you go. I don't see no $100.
Well, I like to get my sample. Once a year, we have to reset, so you have to give me a sample so I know what I'm getting for the money.
You should know what I'm capable of.
You guys.
No, I got to get my sample.
No, you should know what I'm capable of.
Well, Paul, you got to at least
Okay,
wash
you
your
had
dick.
me in my prime.
I wash it in a mouth.
Okay?
It's like crackers right out of the packet, and then 20-year-old crackers. You want to make sure they taste okay still. You don't just say, "Oh, here's I'm going to pay $19.99 for the 20-year-old crackers."
You know what? I'm going to believe that you two actually have a great marriage and your sex life. Because But you could not fight like that if it wasn't actually a big old lie.
Of course. That's what people that listen to this don't get. They think it's serious, and when we meet people, they're like, "Oh my god, why the fuck do you stay with him? Hey, I'll pay for a divorce. You want to come over to my house?" I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot."
It's called.
I haven't had any offers yet.
It's called a persona. It's called a stage character.
Right.
You know. So I think strip clubs. If I had a backer with $5 million and a couple of years to make his money back, so I could work it, I would totally start a strip club in a whole completely different model. Even if I was going to stick to the heterosexuals, the heterosexual strip club, meaning, the men are presumed to be het and the women are there to, look pretty in a femme kind of way, no shaved heads and purple hair and that kind of stuff. But my strip club would be completely different, and I think it would be more respectful to the performers and to the customers, because the men have a legitimate need. I mean, because all the guys I ever met, all he wanted was for someone to at least make them believe, hey, good to see you. How you doing? Missed you since last week.
Yeah.
And I used to tell new dancers that the guys don't know it, but they're going to church. They're going to have experience of a pretty girl, mostly naked, smiling at them and not being a bitch. She may be thinking it, but right now I believe she is not one. And I will pay for that. I'll pay to have a pretty girl sit on my lap and pretend to ask about my day and care. Now, at a certain level, that's sort of sad that we're such a sodomized society that men have to do that to get even a pretend intimacy. On the other hand, how nice it is that there is a way for women in a non-intercourse legal manner to make money off of the universal need for some feminine understanding and sweetness. I mean, women are awesome. And even heterosexual women don't realize that, having a woman be sweet to you just makes the day a whole lot better. And I learned that. In the strip club. Just, if you smile at them, they don't know what you're thinking.
Right.
And if you act nice to them, you'll have regulars, and then the regulars pay your bills because they see you every week. So there's your $50 regular and your $20 regular, and your $100 regular. So good to see you, Bob. And you really are happy to see him, and he's happy to see you because, and for strippers, the intimacy can be real. It's shallow. It's not deep, but it is authentic because enough of the women actually basically like their jobs. There's a few that hate them, absolutely hate being strippers. They hate men. Boy, do they hate men. And often they'll make the most money because they are heartless creatures and will just work it and not care if she leaves them heartbroken. I could never do that. I was a lousy hustler. I'm a lousy hustler.
Yeah, some of those women, as soon as you run out of money, they just fuck off, and that's the end of it, right? So right then you know what it's about. I mean, poor old Andrew spends thousands of dollars at the strip club.
If you go to a strip club, you know what it's about. To get attention must bring money. That's just why you're there. So if you want to just watch the pretty parade of people, you sit in a corner and fewer girls come by to ask you want company. And and if you are if you're going to a strip club, you've got to be dropping at least $20 an hour. So pay the girl $20 and she'll sit next to you and talk for 10 minutes. You won't be able to, and just she'll rub up against your shoulder and lean against you and talk about you, and she'll come back in an hour. You can you can make the money, you can make the intimacy more real if you work the room better. But the girls are not going to go home with you. They don't want to go home with you. They have an asshole at home. They don't want you. This is where Denise can maybe back me up on this or not. But there's anyone here know the musical Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a song how the cowman and the farmer can be friends.
Yeah.
So imagine that tune, it's a very bouncy tune, right? So imagine the word stripper and housewife instead of farmer and rancher. So how could a strip club work that actually supports the marriage instead of causing stress in the marriage and fighting in the marriage?
Well, if he gave me $20 every hour, I'd be nice to him.
I only need you for 20 minutes, so can I give you $6.66?
20 minutes? I thought it was 5 minutes.
No, that's not true at all.
No, it's 3.
No, it's not 3 minutes. That is absolute fucking bullshit, and you know it.
Because about 3 minutes you're thinking of football or
Yeah,
baseball to make it to 6.
Nina, my biggest problem is, right, is that she likes me to go down on her and get her off. And once she gets off, we had this conversation at Exotica, if you remember. Once she gets off, I'm like off the chain, and I'm like ready to go in like a minute. I'm like, ugh. But when she doesn't want me to get her off, I can last 20 minutes. It's that getting off. It's like a achievement to me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. So if you get her off, then 2 minutes of fucking should be fine. You both come, go to sleep.
Yeah, you said that before, but I'm not. Yeah.
Isn't it nice to know that I'm consistent?
Yeah. So what do you think about prostitution? Do you think?
Ask Denise. So Denise, okay, for $20 an hour, you give them attention, but would you do it wearing a thong, a push-up bra, long eyelashes, and high heels?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would.
If he paid for it.
She wouldn't need a push-up bra though.
She
needs scaffolding. She's got massive double D's.
Oh, you poor man! I feel so bad for you.
Yeah, I know, right? And they're real.
Fuck you.
And we recently discovered she's a squirter.
Oh my God!
Oh,
I was just so disappointed in her at this point.
What is the real?
You can ask what the liquid is that comes out when you squirt.
Yeah.
It's not urine. If when I did a movie, Nina Hartley's Guide to Female Ejaculation, and Anna Mills. Mm-hmm. We watched her pee yellow before the scene. She puddled clear during the scene and peed yellow after. So it's definitely not coming from her bladder.
That's weird because a friend of ours has a radio show that Big A was.
Giant squirting you see in porno is completely staged. It is water and or pee. Don't believe it. Nobody gushes like that on a regular basis. Just no.
Even that one chick, Cytherea, she's like the squirt queen. Holy shit. Hers is not real?
She could squirt for real, but I also know she could also stage it. And so, again, if a woman can squirt, how aroused is she? How good is her partner? How sophisticated and skilled is he at priming the pump? Is she well hydrated? Those kinds of things. And so in porn, because it also is a time thing, we don't have time for Cytherea to get all the way worked up. So how can we move this along? I know. She can drink a bunch of water and sort of pee. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that. So that's how that works.
Oh, okay.
So Cytherea can squirt. But can she squirt on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock? We don't know.
Big A can.
Paul, hey, Nina, Paul likes the taste of his own cum. Is that a gay? What is?
Let me clear this up. I like to lick it off my wife's tits and ass.
No. You did it when you were young. That's how you told me you cleaned
up. Were you there?
No, you told me.
Oh yeah,
your parents
I licked the bathtub.
That your sheets were always hard and sticky. And
if my sheets were hard and sticky, that means the jizz was in the sheets, not me. Obviously.
I'm just saying, your parents complained about that, and you had to find another way, and you told me you began to lick it off your
True
hands.
story. My dad came up to my bedroom one time when I was like 13, and he said, my mom's complaining that my sheets can stand up on their own.
Yes, and tell how many times you used to wank off in one night.
Oh, I was the jerk-off king when I was like 17.
Yeah, like 11, 12.
No, way more than that.
Holy shit. You didn't have fucking...
See, it was oversexed.
Well, you're lucky you.
17 was a long time ago.
Maybe Paul should have gotten to porn.
Right?
I know, right?
So what is your take on prostitution? I think it should be legal. I think it would...
It should be legal.
Yeah.
It should be completely decriminalized, and allowing women to both allowing providers to work legally, to be able to rent apartments legally, have bank accounts, work in teams, work with a doorman, work with a booker, work with bouncers, and then also work to report actual trafficking. Because if I can go to the police and not without fear of being arrested or harassed or raped myself, I can say what's going on, on the next corner over. But the fact that it's illegal pushes women onto the streets, which makes it, oh my gosh, more dangerous. No crazy way, really? So of course, all consensual sex work needs to be decriminalized. And what really annoys me about certain feminists is that they've made an unholy alliance with the religious people to promulgate the common knowledge that everybody knows that no woman likes sex work. Nobody would do this on their own. Nobody would do this. And without take into account that actually a lot of people do it and like it because, well, I like it because I'm queer. For me, I see the world through a sexual lens, and I like being able to be board about it and not have to lie, cheat, steal, go against the law to do it. For me, it's like needing to go to a restaurant to eat or going to a doctor for a heart transplant. I mean, it's a bodily need. It's a social. We need to be healthy that way. So I think sexual goods and services should be decriminalized. 100%, full stop. But I also believe in, single payer health care and abolition of corporate welfare. But there you go.
Yeah, and see, in England, in Leeds, in England, they just had like 3 murders of prostitutes. So they actually legalized prostitution in half the city.
Oh, wow.
So, and now, of course, the feminists are kicking off.
Good, I know. Well, yeah, and the religious.
Yep, they're just nuts.
It's very, very annoying. Very, very annoying.
So I was reading that your parents, your mother was Jewish and your dad was Lutheran. So how did they feel when they found out you worked your way into adult movies?
Well, my mother was culturally Jewish, raised without religion. Although during the Depression, she did fall in love with the nuns at the Catholic school and wanted to be a nun when she grew up. But that being Jewish thing sort of got in the way of that, not being Catholic. My father rejected religion at 18. And they bounced through life, and my father's blacklisted in 1957 as being a communist, and so that threw their marriage into a rather toss in the air deck of cards. Right. And I was born as the cards were floating down to the floor after that. And so they tried one thing and another. And when I was 10 years old, they discovered Zen Buddhism, for which they remained devoted the rest of their life. My mother both attained the priesthood. My mother, for a while, was the first abbess of a Zen temple in America. And so they did find religion after all, but it was Buddhist, which is not a deist religion. So you don't believe in Buddha because he was a person, but you do practice. You don't believe in Buddhism. You practice the precepts. You practice Buddhism. Right. So I like that aspect about it because you don't have to believe in a deity. It's not about magic and miracles and manifestations and tree stumps and things of that nature. It's about the daily practical truth of we have to work diligently at our own salvation. Each and every one of us is responsible for our own salvation. That's what I've discovered in my 57 years. And next week marks the beginning of my 32nd anniversary in porn and the beginning of my 33rd year.
Oh, great.
Nice.
Which is crazy to think about because I feel like just yesterday that I started. So, but all sex work needs to be decriminalized. Consensual sex work.
We were talking to Brie Olson a couple of weeks ago, and she's trying to stop people getting into porn only because after you do porn, it's very hard to get a mainstream job. People find out you did it.
She's not wrong. I would not try to stop people from getting into porn, but I would try to let them know what the realities are. The reality is, if you want to put porn behind you and do something else that's not porn related, having that in your background, like having a police record, seriously limits. You can never work with kids in any way. In any way, no minors. You'll never be able to work with minors.
Right.
People will feel free to discriminate against you simply because of you having been a sex worker. Because sex work, people will assume that you're stupid or have a daddy problem or a boyfriend problem or a drug problem or an abuse problem or a pimp problem or a self-esteem problem. Nobody will say, you seem to be a pretty sexual person, and this seems like a really nice, safe way to both get your sexual living out of it and be safe. Golly gosh, how nice that you have it. Which is how I see professional porn. We have a lovely testing system. We get to vet the people that we work with. And so for me, it sure the hell beats picking up strangers in bars.
Yeah, right. What do you we're getting a little bit of feedback on the line. I don't know if you're hearing that. But my question was going to be, okay, what do your brothers and sister think of you doing this?
My oldest brother and I don't talk much about it. I don't know what he thinks about it. My middle brother blew his top when he found out in 1986 and now is really still just now in the last year started to talk to me. So that was a relationship that was completely lost to me. And my sister and I'm quite a bit the youngest. And so I didn't it wasn't like we were all super close and then this happened. We were never we were never very close, and I did this. So my sister and I actually are developing, we have a very good relationship. I'm close with her kids, her adult children, and my cousin, I'm friends with all my adult nieces and nephews. And for the youngest ones who are 8 and under, I'm just a nice lady from whom fun things come in the mail several times a year. Which is what great aunties are for. Great aunties are the dispenser of cool stuff that comes in the mail a couple times a year, because that's how that works. So they don't like it, they don't understand it, but they've made their peace with it as much as they can. The second and third cousins and the younger generation totally think it's cool. They have no trouble with it at all. But also around them, unless they ask me outright, I don't talk about work. And I dress completely down, never wear makeup in family functions. It's very asexual, just super nothing, just not in, not even conservative, just so much as modest and rather frumpy. I'll say it's Berkeley hippie Zendo. It's really low fashion. So it's very gay. Even our annual, winter brunch, we're dressed all very casual. No one puts on a tie. It's all sweatshirts and jeans and stuff. It's definitely super low key.
Normalcy.
No, yeah, I think our level of dysfunction is normal, nothing horrible and hideous. But I see families that are closer and warmer than ours are. Although we're warm in our own way. I will not lie. And I like my family, actually. I pretty much get along with them. So, and I like the family holidays and stuff. And that's nice.
Do you regret you taking all that time training to be a nurse and then just only doing it for a year?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm so grateful I finished my nursing degree and got my diploma and got my license. I never did practice as a nurse. I've never earned a paycheck in the nursing profession. But in terms of all the things I could have gone to uni for, sociology, women's studies, dance, theater, film studies, psychology, anything like that, in terms of what it is I do, being a nurse is perfect because I work with bodies. And when you're a nurse, you learn how to work with bodies. You learn how to work with suffering people because you're dealing with people who are in pain or suffering. And so the techniques I learned and the ideas surrounding what's a nurse's job and purpose in the culture, what they do, what are they for. Nursing was the best thing ever. For me, and because bodies do stuff, and so there's nothing that comes out of a body that's going to make me think less of you or gross me out. I tell people, I make porn for a living, so you can't embarrass me, and I'm a nurse, so you can't gross me out. So ask the question, because it's like having been a parent without being a parent. So when you're a parent, you're dealing up until the kid can wipe his own damn ass. You're up to your elbows in poo and pee and puke and snot and blood and scabs and all this disgusting. It's stuff that comes out of people. And for the first 3.5 years of your life, it's all your responsibility to keep that shit cleaned up. And so you really can't, when you do porn, you cannot be squeamish. You cannot be squeamish at all. It's the human body. It's not a machine. And you just got to work with what you got.
What do you think of those people that do the shit porn and all that kind of stuff? That's not something you do, right?
No, I draw. So there's the five basic porn taboos that pretty much everyone ascribes to. No animals, no kids, no blood, no death, no poop, unless you're German.
Yeah, right.
And for me personally, I add to that, no clowns, no adult baby, no tickling, unless I'm the tickler.
What about fluffies?
I'm fine with fluffies. That works for you. I'm fine with that. I will not be on the receiving end of tickling, and I will not do clowns.
Who wants to get fucked by a clown?
I don't think that's what she meant.
Yeah, no, we do.
Some people love getting fucked by clowns. It's their fetish. It's a thing. It's a fetish, and it's just not my fetish.
Right. I have never seen a clown porn video. I'm going on BitTorrent right now. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, no, believe me, you'll see it. You'll find it. It's there.
Oh my God.
So
Sorry, go ahead, Chris. How did you actually get into porn? Like doing your first porn movie, I guess, right before that. Like, how did you get in?
Well, was working, I was stripping 1 day a week and going to school 5 days a week. I was living with my then boyfriend and girlfriend in a menage, going to nursing school. And I had expressed to him the desire to do porn, and he'd expressed the desire to support me in that. Little did I know that actually would plant the seed of our eventual destruction. But anyway, and
saw that coming.
well, actually, if I knew that what I know now, I would have seen if he never would have moved in with me, and I would have, if I had not met my first partners, who ended up being it was a very bad, it ended up being a very bad relationship, very mentally, emotionally abusive, blah 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 blah, and I finally left, yay me. And if I hadn't met them, Nina Hartley wouldn't exist, but some person who has spent the last 32 years dealing with sex, sexuality, and sexual expression would have still emerged. That was going to happen. If I hadn't found porn, because by the time we found the woman, Juliet Anderson, I had met with an agent, and the one agent in the San Francisco Bay Area, and he was just so creepy and so that I could not bear the thought of dealing with him in any way. And so I thought, okay, well, if I have to go through him, I guess I don't get to make porn. And then not long after that, my then boyfriend ran into Juliet Anderson at the local market and got her card, and we sent her Polaroids and a typewritten letter. It was so sincere and so earnest and so clearly middle class that she was delighted, and she ended up, interviewing me and then putting me in her first movie, Educating Nina. She got together an investment package from friends. She wrote a script, 5-day shoot. She really put her heart and soul into it. And then because this was the 80s and good old boys were the ones actually running the companies, and they didn't want to do no business with no whore, stole the movie from her, and she lost all of her investors' money, and in heartbreak and shame and disappointment left the business forever after that. It was quite sad. But that was my first movie. So I got into porn because I wanted to. I knew at 14 I was a bisexual person and exhibitionistic. I'd had those words. And then I saw my first porno movie I first read porn at 14, 15, 16, and sounded fascinating. I read The Happy Hooker at 13 and wanted to be Zarve or Hollander. I thought that was so cool. I wanted to be a whore because I didn't fantasize monogamy. I didn't fantasize him or my wedding day. I never, ever, ever fantasized a single person. It was always them. It was never him, ever, before I had the words to know what that meant, that I'm polyamorous, I'm non-monogamous. So growing up, that wasn't an option. And so I felt very bad about my desire to cheat, my actual cheating. I've never been successfully monogamous in my entire life. I just finally realized I need to stop pretending that I can do that and be better for everybody. And sure enough, it was better for everybody since I stopped pretending to be that. It was very useful to stop pretending to be what you're not.
Well, how did your boyfriend meet? Did he know Juliet was a porn producer, or did he?
Yes, he met,
okay.
Juliet Anderson at the time was actually she was MILF before there was MILF. Oh. She was someone who got into the business at the age of 39 and created the character of Aunt Peg, Juliet Aunt Peg Anderson. And Aunt Peg ran a casting agency, so she was an agent. And so, of course, that gives her all kinds of reasons to be seducing younger people. And so she was a MILF before it was a category, before it was a thing. And so my ex was someone who took himself out on a date once a week to the local sex club, the O'Farrell Theater, which wasn't they had a strip room and a sex show room, and it was a little sexual circus. It was lovely, great place to be. And so he recognized her from a personal appearance she had done there, and then saw her in the store and went up and basically said, hi, I'm a big fan. My girlfriend wants into porn. How do we get in touch with you? And I'm sure she hears that all the time. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Here's my card. And I'm sure she was shocked, I tell you, when she actually got Polaroids from this person that she'd heard about the week before. Because, I really wanted in. I snuck into my first movie at 17. I really wanted to make porn. I could have been making porn since 1977, but I knew I wasn't emotionally prepared at 18 to actually be on a set. I knew it wouldn't be good for me. And so by the time I was 25, it was good for me.
But you think that people that want to do porn don't realize how it's made, how it's very mechanical and there's not really any passion or anything there? Do they think that it's going to be like making love to all these people? I
think they don't know that. I think I would like to think that the big buildup in the 80s and 90s before the internet of porn is this glamorous place. You know, Jenna Jameson, Ashley Gear, Stormy Daniels, Jessica Drake. I mean, oh wow, these big stars, Stoya. And it seems so fancy. It seems
Kobe Ty.
Yeah, Kobe Ty, the Vivid Girls, and being the Vivid Girls like the most amazing thing, and so the it's not commercial porn is not passionate. However, that being said, there's something called makelovenotporn.tv, which is a video sharing service. So you make the amateur porn, and she will host it, post it, and give you half of the money that comes in from that.
Half, babe.
Yeah, no, that's good. Actually, that's good in terms of the rev share for these kinds of sites. That's actually quite fair because they're handling the bandwidth and the banking and the technical aspect of it, and you just get money.
Paul really wants to do
and so right, and so
I just want money.
If a person wants to make porn, if a person wants to make only the porn that works for them, only intimate porn or romantic or POV blowjobs or hand jobs or whatever the thing there is, any person with a camera, a freaking iPhone or a camera and a computer and an internet connection can quote unquote make porn, edit said porn and upload it to the internet, create a site, sell it through makelovenotporn.tv. So now there are ways for everybody who makes adult material to be completely in charge of what it is they create, and then make the money from that and make their own business and find their own niche. And because I know this, if a person finds you, becomes a fan, they'll always purchase from you. So if you grow your fan base and just give out, fewer instances of quality material, eventually you're going to have a lot of people who will act as your de facto patrons to buy everything it is that you make, because you have you've curated your customer base, and you have found the people that love you, whatever it is about you that's unique. Because no matter what a person looks like, there's somebody out there who thinks that thing is the hottest thing ever, because golly. So if you don't need to quit your day job, you can start a second career as a pro-am pornographer using just yourself and make erotic art that works for you, and then you find a place to sell it and see if anybody else agrees. So that part's really cool. But if you want to come out to LA and make porn out here, yes, it's quite a business. You can have a lot of fun. If you invite two people together on a bed, you can totally have a rocking good time. But it is very mechanical these days. I'm not going to lie. It's not like the old days. We got to go party for 2 hours while they took pictures. Now it's all very segmented. Pardon me. It's all very segmented and regimented, and not anywhere nearly as. Not only is it not as romantic as it used to be, it's not as.
It doesn't look as. Yeah, it doesn't really look as real. Like back, I think back, porn back in, I guess, I don't know if you. I guess 80s. early 90s, when you were doing a lot of movies and like, Christy Canyon and Ginger Lynn and, it just Heather Hunter. I mean, it was just, it looked real. You know what I mean? Like there's more passion in it. And now it is. It just, I mean, I'm not saying, I still like the girls are fucking hot as hell in porn. That hasn't changed, but it just.
But you're not wrong, and it is very staged. But
yes.
There's some people that are always real. Casey Calvert, you always want to see anything she's in. Jay Taylor is awesome. She is amazing. She is completely girl next door, completely normal pretty.
I love Veronica Rodriguez. That's my girl.
Who? Vanessa Rodriguez?
Oh no, Veronica Rodriguez.
Don't know her. Oh, she had that fine booty.
Oh yeah. So
there's a lot of, I started the trend. I am the original big booty white girl, but now there are a lot of girls with amazing asses. Yes. I would no longer be the only one of my kind. If the 25-year-old me came to the business today, I would no longer be the only one of my kind.
Did you Did you ever work with? I don't remember, but did you ever work with Raquel Darrian back in the day? I know she only.
No, I never did. I came back through the grapevine that I scared her because I was known in the 80s and 90s, well, always, but especially back then when there were a few really out, dykey girls in the business. Don't forget, I am basically a butch who masquerades as a femme because I don't want to scare the men into not watching what I'm doing because I have to teach the straight guys how to fuck girls because I cannot fuck them all myself. Help me, please.
Oh, that should be a website.
Tori Wells was really good too. I love Tori Wells.
Tori was awesome. Tori Wells was awesome.
Yes.
You know what
retired. She has 2 kids. I don't know what she's doing relationship-wise, but she's happily retired and doing very well.
You know what I liked about the porn back then is a lot of the girls, they just look like normal people. You know, a lot of the girls in porn now, they're just like fucking, you know, high-class stripping-looking girls with fake tits, and they just got worse makeup, and they just look like you walk down the street, you can go, that girl looks like a porn girl, and it didn't used to be like that.
In LA, I can't tell. It's like, is that a porn chick or is a girl trying to look like Cosmo on a night out on Saturday? Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. The porn, well, as my husband likes to say, we've reached a point where porn culture has dragged itself up to the level of trash culture.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at like back then too, even the guys that did porn were kind of like more, you know how the women to me like in porn back then were normal looking. Yeah, but they were like iconic, like the guys were too. Now it's like you had guys back then like, you know.
Oh, now the straight guys are as beautiful as the gay boys. You have to have shoulders and abs and have your chest.
Perfect. Yeah, like
it's very hard. It's
like
very hard.
Perfect. Looks like Big A.
Yeah. I don't actually like to watch porn with fucking massive cocks in it because why do you want to watch that?
It's very different. Men fall. I've discovered, Paul, that men fall into 2 major categories: those who strongly prefer boy-girl porn, and those who strongly prefer girl-girl porn.
I'm a bit of both. I'm a bit of both.
I like girl, and I like, you know, boy-girl, or 2 girls and 1 boy.
Do you like reverse gangbang?
Oh, absolutely. No, I always want to push it out number. So 1 guy, 2 girls, 2 guys, 3 girls, 3 guys, 4 girls, 4 guys, 6 girls.
I saw one with 1 guy and like 25 girls, and they were all squirting on him.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, wait, you say they're all peeing on him, poor guy.
Yeah, exactly. And that was on Big A's home camera. I saw that. So how was working back in the day? We had Ginger Lynn on a few weeks ago, and she told us some. Yeah, she's the one who actually helped hook us up. But she told us some pretty shitty stories about some stuff with Ron Jeremy, how he didn't treat the girls very well off camera, and there was some issues like that, and how much of a bitch Tracy Lords was.
I will say that I second her report on things.
Right.
It never happened to me, but it happened close enough to me that I could no longer deny or ignore what I heard about him from other people. So yeah, she's not lying.
Right. Why do you think that someone in that situation would get away with something like that?
Because he's Ronnie, and we're just porno chicks, and so, you know, it's just, we're already a debased culture. The porn culture is already a debased population, and so the girls are either, what do we expect getting into a disgusting business like this, and then other people would be, oh my gosh, what do you expect? Of course, they protect somebody like him. So the business is rapidly professionalizing, right, and there's less and less room for that as we get older. He'll die soon, and that'll be the end of that. The couple of times anyone in this business has been remotely connected to anything having to do with underage people off camera, they've been kicked out quicker than you can say, get the fuck out of here, you pig. Right. So that we definitely, whatever we tolerate in our midst, we don't tolerate anything to do with minors. We are super, we're just super, because we always, A, ew, B, we already know we're marginalized, and we're not, and there's just no room for that. There's no one, that person will be kicked to the curb so quickly, which is, that much is good to know. And, you know, all I can say is, I mean, people can say, oh my God, Nina, you're such an apologist. Did
you like working with Ron? When you
for the first few years, the last time I did it, it was one of those exercises in acting. Yeah. Because as he's gotten older, you know, between you, me, and the audience here, he's not as attractive. No, that's not. He's not.
That's an understatement.
He's not as able as he used to be.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he can't suck his dick no more.
Damn it! I was just going to ask that question.
He's more of a shadow of his former self. So that part, for his dignity alone, haha. But this is a man who will go to a formal dinner in sweatpants, Crocs, and a t-shirt with a tuxedo ruffle on it. I mean, right. You know, it's like he makes a point of looking like a schlump.
Right.
Girls still like him though. I guess it's just being
No,
famous.
girls
Right?
don't like. No. He doesn't really
There's
work on
nothing
camera.
attractive about him. Nothing.
No.
Who is
No.
it? Who was like I would say like back in the day? Who was like your favorite girl or girls to work with?
Oh my gosh! Well, I've been here so long.
Yeah.
Let's see. Angel Kelly, Portia Lynn.
How about Christy Canyon? I always liked Christy.
I worked with her one time and she was nice. And we never actually worked together.
Okay.
We rode dicks next to each other, but we never ended up into.
Nice.
We never even swapped dicks, or it was just really weird. So she's fun and friendly, but I never actually worked with her. So no, Ginger Lynn's awesome. But she and I are more good friends than we are sex partners. But Ginger Lynn's the world's nicest girl. I just love her. She
was really nice.
She's sweet. She's genuine. She's nice. She's just great. We just love her.
Did you ever work with Tracy Lords? Because she said she was a bitch on wheels.
You know what? I had a script for a movie with Tracy Lords. I was finally going to get Tracy Lords. Oh my God. Finally, it's hit the big time. And then the scandal hit the fan and I just threw the script away. If I could do a few things over again, I would have divorced way sooner. I would have kept my memorabilia. I would have kept certain memorabilia and organized it better. But what I didn't do is keep any of the scripts because they were so disposable. It really is sort of stupid, but they did exist.
Wow.
But I never got to work with her. These days I like Casey Calvert. I like Charlie Piper. I like Jay Taylor. I like Lotus Lane. I liked Kylie Ireland back in the day.
Kylie Ireland was hot back in the day.
Kylie Ireland. A really good movie if you can find it is Nina, Shaylin, Kylie's Barcelona home movie. It's a great sex doc of the 1997 Barcelona Erotica Festival and the birthplace of Ramon Nomar. Oh my God. Denise, do you like handsome Spaniards with a really cute accent and a rockin' body and a big dick?
When he's outside mowing our lawn.
Yeah, no. Ramon Nomar. He's a great performer. He's just the right combination of pretty and menacing, a little kinky, but basically just a strong fuck. He's awesome. You want to watch a pretty boy?
I'll have to look
girl.
into that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Ramon, Nomar.
Okay.
Yeah, Ramon Nomar. Woof. So Kylie Ireland was always good. Keisha, loved Keisha.
Oh, yeah,
Keisha. Awesome.
We saw Keisha. There was a place that used to be in New Jersey, in Manville. It's called Frank's Chicken House.
Oh, my God. I know it well. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and actually, that's where I saw... My friend took me there when I turned 17 because you could be 17. There was no booze there. And I saw Keisha there. He got like a poster of movies. And I saw Raquel Darrian there. And actually, I think I still have a Polaroid with her back in the day. Yeah, Raquel. Yeah.
Yeah, Raquel Darrian was one of the prettiest women ever. She's certainly for me, one of the top 30 prettiest women ever to make porn.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She was beautiful. I think she was either Penthouse Pet of the Year or she had something, one of those things she had.
Yeah, that was a little bit of crossover there. She was beautiful, very, very, very good looking. But Keisha, I'm still friends with Keisha. Portia Lynn was fun, but she's fully retired. I haven't seen her in ages. Let's see who else.
Have you ever had the shit kicked out of you by James Dean?
No, I did one scene with him before the shit hit the fan, and it was strictly professional. It was correct. It hit all the marks, but there was, as Denise said, there's no passion. It was a perfectly professional scene where everybody did their part perfectly and professionally. And even if that had not happened, he'd go on my no list because there was no chemistry. And for me, I have to have chemistry because I'm not here just to go through the motions. Yes, so there is a motion to go through, but if you have chemistry, then it's actually fun.
Who was the most chemistry you had back in the day? With like.
Oh my God!
I mean, how about Randy West? He was funny. He was fucking funny as hell.
I loved Randy West. I loved Peter North. I love Richard Pacheco. I always had good chemistry with them. I always had good chemistry with Shawn Michaels.
How about Joey Silva? Because I know I've seen a movie with you with Joey Silva.
He was someone. he put it all in the fucking. He did not like to hang out or cuddle beforehand or make out. Herschel Savage was great to work with because he loved making out. And so he loved to, before the scene started, to go in a corner and just make out with you. And so few people in the business have ever liked that.
How about, did you ever do with the...
I'm a huge fiend for making out. So I always...
Chris wants to know how he become a fluffer.
No, that's Paul. Paul was dying to ask. He was trying to cut in here to ask you.
There's no such things. These days, part of the more mechanical thing is, it used to be there was sort of a party atmosphere on a set, and you'd hang out with your future coworkers and, tease and tickle and flirt and break balls and just sort of get some kind of camaraderie going, because we both know what we have to do here. And every guy needs something different. This guy likes to have you stand over there and pose while he jerks off. This guy likes you to suck his dick. This guy likes you to come up and kiss him while he jerks off. This guy likes you to gaze into his eyes and get hard that way. So as a woman, you really, especially before Viagra, really had to learn how to work with each guy and what he needed. This guy likes his nipples played with. This guy don't touch his nipples. Ball sack yes, ball sack no. So that part was always fun for me. You did that in the pre-scene flirt, and so you take a couple of pictures. The photographer would take the pictures during the scene using a blimp. And after a while, that evolved into shooting out one position. And while they changed tape out of the camera, then the photographer would come in and take pictures of the preceding position, the oral sex, position 1, position 2. And then, so it was a nice, lovely, the scene had lovely energy to it, rev it up to here and downshift and take picture, rev it up again. So it was nice. And by the time we got to the end, he'd had a really good time, and it was actually a lot of fun. Now we get to the set, we take our pictures, fill out our paperwork. We do the pretty girl shots, which is the females in the scene in their outfits, pose, 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 down to naked spread shots. Okay, get dressed. But nowadays we do prom shots with the male talent, and then we do something that didn't happen before the internet, which is now we do all the sex stills first. So I put some lube on my pussy. He manufactures an erection. We pose in 4 positions in what hopefully looks like passion, but we have not been able to build any passion yet because he's manufactured the erection just by jerking it, and I put the lube in my pussy. And then we get all the pictures, fake the cum shot, then get dressed, touch up the makeup, and then start the scene and go through the scene from start to finish. And so there's no modulation anymore. It becomes all about, we need 30 minutes of footage, and so we'll shoot 40 minutes. And so there's no pausing, there's no stopping and starting, there's no natural ebb and flow during the scene. It's all about all attention on the penis, 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 squirts, and we're done. Every single time.
I got 2 questions. 1, how do they last that long? And 2, what the hell does Peter North eat so that he comes for like 20 minutes?
I have no idea how Peter North does it. He's always done it back in 1984 when I did my first scene with him. That's just, why are my eyes blue? I don't know. They are. How did it come that way? I don't know. He does. We have no clue.
Because you read online with like all these different methods of stuff to do, but
I don't bother. Don't bother. And do not.
Why do you need to come so much anyway?
That's a
drown you.
That's a Paul. Well, Paul wants to fill it. Paul wants to put all his cum in a cup and drink it, I guess.
Oh.
When you think of semen as metaphor, then it's just like rah! It's like a visual scream, a visual, orgasmic yell. And so you want a lot of eat. Also, the more you come, you shoot out. That means the more pulsations you're getting, which means the longer the orgasm is going, which means the bigger the orgasm it is. So it feels really good. But I have no idea what makes Peter North come the way he does. We're all in awe of him. And the guys last so long because they're that guy,
Like
every guy,
Evan Stone. There's another one.
Because Evan Stone is a natural performer. He's funnier than shit. If you ever get a chance to see him,
we saw him at Exotica. He was really cool. We took a picture with him and stuff.
He's great. No, we love Evan Stone. He's a big, giant, large breed puppy. I just think he's awesome. But Evan Stone he is that guy. He's the one who loves the audience, who loves taking his dick out in front of the man. It doesn't bother him. He's so heterosexual, it does not bother him at all. And he loves being the center of attention. He's a camera hog. He's an attention whore. He likes girls a lot. And so he's fun to work with, because if you go work with Evan, it's going to be a party. He's not going to take it too seriously, because other guys, you work with him, and you work with some guys, and it's all about his emotional safety, so his dick will not go soft. So you're working physically and emotionally. Right. Keeping this guy fucking dick in the room with you. Please don't go. And that guy goes on my no list, because if I'm not here to be your babysitter, I'm here to play with you. I'm here to be as supportive as possible. If you can't do a certain position because your knee's out, we'll work with that. But I'm not here to emotionally caretake you because you have a iffy relationship today with your penis. That is your job.
Is it true that back in the day, a lot of the male actors were gay? And that's why they could last?
No, they weren't. The only one that was bisexual in the 80s was Peter North.
Right. He started off as gay porn, right?
Right, Matt Ramsey. But now I think there's more back and forth leakage between gay and straight. But I don't watch gay porn, so I don't know who that might be. You can sort of tell some of them because they just, yeah, you're queer enough. What?
No, I'm asking Big A. You watch gay porn?
No, I do not.
Oh, they just said you did.
No, he doesn't watch it. He loves it.
No, I do not.
Well, he loves lesbian.
Liar.
I mean, he loves lesbian porn.
Yeah, lesbian porn.
We all do.
Well,
all men.
Yeah, of
course.
Yeah, all men.
Of course.
All men.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I like lesbian porn because, hey, did you, because boobies. People say, "Oh, golly, Nina, why do you get into porn?" It's like naked women.
I like.
They show up. They smile at you. They let you fuck them, and then they go home, and you get a paycheck. What is not to like?
I don't need a paycheck.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do.
No, I'm saying if I didn't have any money, I need a paycheck. But I'm just saying, if I could show up and fuck a couple of girls, if I wasn't married, I don't mean right now.
No. The first time you have to show up at a fucking barn at 10 o'clock in the morning to fuck some girl while standing on a hay bale, wearing a cowboy hat. You realize this is a job, pay me. It's not laying around while girls in bikinis take pictures of your penis while other girls in no bikinis suck on it and feed you grapes.
Do you ever do snowballing videos?
I never liked that. I mean, I'll swallow cum, but I don't like it enough to keep it in my mouth long enough to spit it in somebody else's mouth, and it sure as hell ain't coming back.
Oh, Big A's Googling that now. He didn't know what that was a minute ago.
Oh, girl.
What a liar you are.
Some girls love snowballing because it's very, very, it feels very dirty, and it shows a devotion and a dirty-mindedness that some women love. I don't do anything because it's dirty, because I wasn't raised in the church, and so dirty is not transgressive for me. And don't forget, sanitary is not the same as dirty. Sanitary is a state of fact, and dirty is a state of mind.
Right.
And we shouldn't get those two confused. But that being said, I don't. If cum tasted better, I would gargle with it, but I don't. So if I swallow it, it's one and done. It's like I'm not. It's
got protein in it at least.
Yeah. I'm not burbling it in my mouth or making spit bubbles. It's like no.
Damn, Big A, cancel that then. Be careful Googling snowballing, Big A, because the gays do it a lot more. So be really careful how you Google it.
That's so funny.
That's right. I'm on your iPad anyway.
Yeah.
I don't care.
People listening at home, do not Google snowballing at work.
Yeah, exactly. So what's better then? Is it one girl, two guys, or two girls, one guy?
Oh, because I'm bisexual, I like two girls, one guy, but my heterosexual girlfriends want two guys, one girl. So it's all really about what the people are into. My favorite is I get to be with a heterosexual couple.
Yeah, because you like the best of both worlds.
Because, well, I'm bi. I like pussy and I like dick, so I like one of each. Depending on the guys, I can enjoy two guys. And depending on the women, I can sure as fuck enjoy two women. You can never have too much pussy at a sex party because the presence of pussy makes it a sex party. Because a sex party without pussy is a circle jerk.
Yeah, Big A.
What?
Big A's had it hard. Big A's a great guy. He needs to get laid in the worst way. He needs to get laid in the worst way.
If you saw him, I'll email you a photo of him after the show. He could be one of those speciality male porn stars because of how he looks, Because I think these days to get into porn, you have to be something different. You have to do something different. You know what I mean? To stand out.
Definitely help. It definitely help. Hung like a pony, or can suck your own dick or something.
You can't do that.
How about fucking hung like an acorn?
You're wrong, Paul.
If you're hung like a hamster, you can be the cuckold in the cucking videos, or the Mope Squad. So there is a niche for it, but then all you do is get abused. Get verbally abused and made fun of, and wouldn't put anybody through that because ew.
I think that Big A's like on the guest list at headquarters in New York because he knows all the girls. So he's like best friends with like so many girls. He texts all these different girls. None of them are giving him pussy. I think we should lock him in a closet and then watch all these girls get plowed by somebody else. I think that's what he wants to do.
That's not nice.
That's not nice,
Paul's
Paul.
not nice.
Yeah, but Paul is evil.
And then Big A's going to video it, fall out of the closet, and go, "Oh my god!" and then break the video. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. The jackass that wrote the book. I was just asking you how it was like being in a mainstream movie next to William H. Macy.
It was so much fun, and William H. Macy is the world's nicest man.
Yeah, I love him in that new Fargo. What do you think of that?
Oh gosh, yeah. He's just really a great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. Do you have any more plans to be in mainstream movies? I'm assuming, like, if somebody offered you something good, you'd do it?
They have to call me. So yes, of course I'd love to. But I can't find an agent. That's the stigma of porn.
Right. That's what we were talking about before, what Brie Olson said. You're kind of fucked once you do it.
But I always knew that sex was going to be my thing, so I never wanted to do not sex because I don't like how mainstream Hollywood handles porn, handles sex in the movies. It's ridiculous, and so I much prefer porn because at least it's more straightforward if it's not more honest.
Yeah. I'm trying to throw that over. Do you think that the movie industry should realize that it's because of porn that the VHS player was invented, the DVD player was invented? They
know that already. We were technology leaders, and now we've been eaten by technology, and it spawned a whole different way of being in the interface of you used to have to go out and find porn that worked for you. And you had if you hit puberty, you were interested in sex, you had something to go and look for.
So, Big A, you had a question.
Actually, I have a question.
He's all nervous now.
Yeah, he's all nervous.
I have a question. We were just discussing this. Okay, now Paul and I have been married for almost 20 years now. Okay, when we were dating, there was romance. There was passion, a lot of passion.
Even when the first 2 years we were married.
Okay. But, yeah, I mean, like, we got older and stuff like that, and he has totally lost the idea of what romance is and how to romance a woman. Like, nothing for nothing, but I can't just go to bed and have a guy roll over and say, so, you're going to give me some? To me,
absolutely. He will help his case if he can climb the pump before you get to bed.
Exactly.
That part.
Grabbing at my breast.
That part's true. So yeah, and there's a great book. I think I mentioned this last time by a woman named Esther Perel, ESTHERPEREL, and it's called Mating in Captivity. Mating in Captivity, and the two underlying questions are, can we desire what we already have? And does good intimacy always make for hot sex? And the factor is actually no, not always. So you love each other, you're not splitting up, no one's cheating. Okay, so it's not going to ever be like it was before. You're not 22 anymore, not happening, and you're not strangers to each other. You're not just now learning about each other. So the circumstances are different. It's hard to be strangers with someone whose socks you pick up. And, so there's that. So there's just the fact of the matter is you got a lot of closeness going on here. So, so you can't roll over and say, yo, give me something, and you're like, what the fuck? I need to go to sleep. So you can. My husband and I, we do have date night. We do make date night. We set aside time. We schedule it in our week. So that our job for that time is to be naked with each other and in a good mood, and we'll see what goes on. So we show up, bathed, showered, perfume, whatever our date look is, we show up that way, and then just take it from there. What mood are we in? So we show up with the intention of having a good time. We show up with the intention of letting them show us a good time, and to give it the good, honest college try to have fun with this. It's not going to happen spontaneously anymore. It just doesn't. You're aging, older. So what can you do instead? So if he really wants to, have sex with you tonight, he could text you during the day. Hey, my dear, thinking nice thoughts about later tonight. Can I bring you something?
I don't get any of that. I don't get nothing. He leaves for work. The only time I ever hear from him is when either I'll send him a text and say good morning or something. I'll get a one-liner back. Never do I get anything like, hey, baby, I miss you. I love you.
Yeah, so
he could up
his texting game to help his cause. It wouldn't take a lot. It sounds like
and I told him it takes a second. It takes a second out of your day. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. You know what I mean? Like, nothing for nothing.
Yeah.
But, I'm at the stage of my life where my kids are grown. They're all starting to leave home. And now it's just me.
Me.
Yeah. So yeah, and right. So okay. So but
and I don't know who Denise is. It's like I'm trying to discover myself.
Guess what you get to do? Guess what you get to do? Oh boy, it's going to be so much fun for you. First, there's going to be when the kids are actually away at school. You'll now have to have a renegotiation about how to put your time together, because then you'll have empty nest syndrome. Yeah. But that does mean you can also go back to scheduling afternoon sex before dinner, because the older you get, the less you want to have sex after dinner. My husband and I, we never have sex before dinner, after dinner. We always play first, eat after, because we're old, and I cannot have sex on a full stomach. I can't feel sexy on a full stomach. I don't want to fuck on a full stomach. He's 60, so there's no fucking on a full stomach for him. So
Paul doesn't eat anymore.
He had the sleeve. So now the only thing that we used to have really in this relationship was going out to dinner,
getting fatter,
going somewhere, like going out, and that would be it. Now it's just home, and he has become neurotic. He has become narcissistic, all about himself, taking selfies, how much weight he's lost.
When we
go to the store, like today, I was so hungry. I made him a nice curry. He asked me, Denise, can you make me curry? I had his nice dinner and everything waiting for him. He came, and I said to him, I'm really in a mood for a corned beef sandwich, because I didn't have one yesterday, And it's like I have to sit there, and I have to wait until he's ready. But then he bitches and he complains, okay, that he has to get up and go and take me, because, you see, he's already eaten. And there's eat whatever. And there's nothing for him then to do if he takes me to get my sandwich.
She just said she wanted a sandwich before.
No.
I asked.
Okay, So I see. So we have a lot. So if I'm my amateur, I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm not a licensed therapist.
Right.
But you do have a lot of. So if I was going to do my nursing assessment in the family dynamic model, there is you, Denise, and your life, and then there's you, Paul, and your trajectory, and then there's your life together. So you, Denise, you're facing empty nest syndrome. You are facing a mature marriage where at the empty nest is often with a time of reassessment. What are we doing here? Where are we going? Why are we doing this? And your husband, if he has something so drastic as a gastric sleeve, that means he has serious health issues or self image issues
he's narcissistic.
We're again. So right. So this is, at least So we're profound. He's going to undergo a profound body shift. Is that if someone's narcissistic, then it's going to take their attention. So there's that. There's you, the woman, now married to someone whose schedule is changing, whose whose things we used to do together are shifting, and what are we going to do in its place? What can we do in its place? To go for walks together, that's something to do together, or learn a new sport, or learn to do yoga together, something. So what can you both enjoy doing together that's new for both of you? So you're learning new skills together, which is what we do when we're first dating. I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me. Let's go take this painting class or this ceramics class or this blah, 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 and learn something new together. So if there's anything that could overlap, you can learn something new together, that would approximate early dating. Well, secondly, really making scheduled time for intimacy.
Can I mention? Yes. She didn't mention this one part of all this thing. She only wants to have sex at night now. She only wants to have sex in the bedroom, and she only wants to have sex with the light off. So the reason I'm saying, to her at nighttime, are you in the mood, is because I know that's the only time I'm getting some. Where back in the day, the kids went outside to play for 4 minutes, and we'd be in the bathroom.
Right. Well, you're also, don't forget, you were 28 at the time. So this is something, a conversation to have in private is acknowledging frustration on both parts, acknowledge our own part in where we find ourselves, and then what can we, in good faith, because we do love each other, we don't want to break up, what can we do? We have to renegotiate what we're doing. We have to reimagine where we're at. It's a whole new self reinvention. You're no longer young parents. You're no longer hot young people in your 20s bonking every time of the day. You are a couple who shared 22 years together, and kids, and surgery, and dead parents, and whatever the fuck else you shared together. Right. What's it look like now? And you can, and I'm sure there's books out there, so you can write lists and share them. I don't know what. But if you can, yes. Oh,
I'm sorry. The one thing that he doesn't realize, okay, and part of the issue what I'm going through, okay, is how he had surgery, I had surgery. I just recently, with everything that I'm going through, I had to have a knee replacement.
Oh, owie, owie.
Yeah, okay. So I just had my first one. During that time, I really, really expected that he would have came up to the plate. He would have been more compassionate, more loving, more
I drove you everywhere. I took you to the doctor. I was at the hospital every day.
I'm talking about the passion. I'm talking about the bond between a man and a woman really, really showing just how much I care.
There's something that takes away the heat of passion when there's a crutch in the bed.
Wait a second. For him to go to a store and say, oh, well, I bought you fruit. I bought you what I wanted. I did for you. You know what? That's not what I was looking for. I really needed someone to really show me that he cared.
Okay, that is something, honestly, that's above my pay grade, and that's a conversation I urge you. No. I totally get where you're coming from, and I totally get it, and I am not qualified to help you with this conversation. It sounds like, honestly, from over here, 2 to 4 meetings with a counselor in the room to talk this out, you'll be fine. You clearly don't hate each other.
Denise took the hotness out of the room.
So the hotness.
You know
this is the fact of aging.
Therapist, not a marriage therapist.
I took the hotness out of the room. Why? Because I have a bad leg now?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the studio right now. We're talking with Nina about sex and.
Yeah, but this is part of it. This is, I'm 57. I'm married now. I'm married with my partner. Right, I'm with my partner, 16 years. I've married 20 years before that. So I get that stuff changes, and so always it comes back to my feelings, my reaction to a thing. It's my responsibility, and I cannot resentfully give quote unquote support when feeling angry, but I can acknowledge myself. I'm angry. What can I give myself, and what can I articulate from my partner concrete? Because men, what can I do, right? So I want to feel more love. That's too amorphous. I want you to text me 3 times a day just to say hey. That would go a long way to make me feel. That would feel loving to me. So me, the person in question, is sit with it, pray over it, journal over it, yoga over it, breathe over it, meditate over it, whatever it is, until you come to the other side of the emotional kerfuffle and figure out, okay, what's my side of the deal that I have to handle, and then what can I concretely, without anger, tell my partner, it really would help me, it would matter to me if you did A, B, C, concrete things, call whatever that is. And then men like hearing, what can I do? Okay, I can do that. I can bring you a sandwich. I can get the car gas up. I can do that. And don't forget, that's a love language. So do you need acts of love to be verbal, acts of service, acts of back rub? You know, so if you're not having, it would help his cause if, you know, in the daytime, I don't know why you want to have sex only at night in the dark,
yeah,
but
really.
that's hard to work. But that's not a conversation for here. That's what that counts for a person. But you know, if it makes you, if it's nicer to have sex with the curtains half drawn, you can still make nighttime light in the daytime. You can make it nice and dim. If I feel uncomfortable, I wear costumes that make me feel sexy, and then. Denise, this is where you have to trust that he is happy to be there with you. He's not looking at the flaws. Most men are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting late. This rocks my world." They're not thinking, "Oh my gosh, the back of her knees. Oh my gosh, her ankles." It's like he's not. No, men don't stress on that. Oh my gosh, I got titties, natural double D titties squished up against my chest. My life does not suck.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then Paul, I don't know what you have to talk with her about what will make her believe you and feel that toward you. But it is hard. You know, long-term monogamy is challenging. You know, any relationship is challenging. Long-term monogamy is challenging in one way. Long-term non-monogamy is challenging in a different way. I'm not saying that you need to open up the relationship, but it is.
Paul would like to.
But when we get older, sex no longer can just happen. It does have to be planned for. We have to plan for spontaneity.
Right.
We have to create space in our lives where we're going to treat it like a date. Sometimes I will set the space up for my, you know, because we're lucky we have a place for sex. I'll set it up. I'll get everything ready. I'll get myself ready, and then I will go and sit in my car for 10 minutes and then come knock on the door. As if, you know, so role playing is really good that way. They could knock on the door and he treats me like I'm a date. Even though I know who he is and he knows who I am, we're not going to go so far as use condoms, but still. So role playing or just deciding, we decide together what are we going to do, and then we stick with it. We decide, you know, so you have a new need. So certain positions, Denise, are not going to be okay for you either ever or for a long time. So Denise, have to find your new normal positions. Right. Do I need to have a pillow under my knee? Do I need a special, you know, my husband and I don't roll around on the bed. You know, when I'm in doggy style, I have a special firm pillow I put under my chest so my neck doesn't get bent out of shape. If we're missionary style, I have a different pillow I put under my butt to tilt my hips up nicely because of my back. Right. And so it's not the way it was when we were younger. You know, yeah, your knee, oh, my back. Oh, you know, he had an appendectomy, so it took a while to get back to missionary being super comfortable, but we waited it out. So you make an assessment. What can you do? I can do, and you'll know what your new positions are that feel comfortable for you. That we can't do. Maybe we can't wear high heels anymore. Okay, fine. We can wear stay-up stockings and still have pretty stocking feet if you like stockings. Whatever, fine. And so you make accommodations and you accept that you're getting older and your bodies are changing and you hate it and it sucks. And it sucks. Yeah. You know, but it beats the alternative. Yes, I wish I had the body I did when I was 35. But even if I exercised as much now as I did then, I wouldn't look 35 because I'm 57 and I can't look 35 anymore. It's just not going to happen. I was okay. You know, I was okay, but I don't wear bathing suits in public anymore. You know, I'm going to wear a sarong or a sundress and let the little 20-somethings whose job it is to be half naked in public, let them walk around and admire, oh, how cute are they?
Paul likes looking at himself in the mirror naked. That's very narcissistic.
I don't do that.
Oh, I totally do that all the time because I'm working on my angles. I realize, wow, I look like I've lost 5 pounds. I just fucking stand up straight and hold my head. It's like, and there goes 5 pounds right there. I look 5 years younger and 5 pounds fatter if I stood up properly. I learned how to do that. So you see, and you just learn how to just, you know, hate it and live with it at the same time. Yeah. If I dwelled on the fact that I hate my cellulite, if I dwelled on the fact that I hate the spider veins, I could hate my body and not think I'm worthy of sex. But I realized, you know what? Sex happens between the ears. And if, you know, in a dark room, it's really not about how you look, it's how you make me feel. So in a dark room, if it's all braille sex, if you make me feel good, I don't care what you look like. Your hands are working. If you're a good kisser, and I like rolling around in bed with you and doing the dry hump special, you know, that's good for me. I don't need a lot of special fancy stuff, but I do need an enthusiastic partner, and I need to be enthusiastic. when I was young and really stupid, I used to think it was my partner's, this is what message I took from the culture, it was my partner's job to get me in the mood.
Right.
And of course, I was disappointed a lot of the time. And I had, and sex wasn't fun. I was disappointed. I was disappointed all the time because I didn't understand. I kept thinking sex was something that happened to me, not something that happened with me. Right. And so, for as long as I felt that at 18, 19, 20, sex pretty much sucked. It was just always like, oh, really? Seriously? People get in fights over this? I mean, I did not understand what the big deal was about sex until I started understanding what sex was actually about. And once I started doing that, it's like, oh, I totally get it now. This is awesome. Sex totally rocks my world. And that's the more responsibility I took for my own experience, the better sex got. And the fewer assholes I went to sleep with, because the fewer assholes I did yes to. I started to have to get better quality of partner. Oh, go figure. And I started having better time with it. No, really, seriously, awesome. And that was a big moment for me.
Did you?
So the culture.
I was going to ask, did you lose some of your libido during menopause, and did it come back after?
See, and this is where I know that I'm an alien. I never had a libido. My sex for me has always been mental. I'm interested in being sexual if somebody else is in the room who also wants to be sexual. I'm pansexual and queer, so the person does not have to be a particular gender, does not have to be a particular orientation. They're interested in doing something sexual with or around me. I'm interested in participating or watching because I just like sex stuff because I'm interested in it. So for me, sex is always from the head down. It was rarely ever from the crotch up. And I know I'm weird that way because I have plenty of girlfriends who would crawl out of their windows at night to go look for boys who just really like sex. And for me, sex is a fascinating concept. I feel like Spock. What an interesting idea. How does it work? How interesting. How does it work over here? Fascinating. What happens if you do this? No way. So for me, my premenopausal sex and my postmenopausal sex are almost exactly the same. My orgasm didn't change. My level of interest in sex didn't change. My ability to be orgasmic didn't change. It's pretty much the same as it ever was. Which except that I'm more comfortable with my sexuality because I'm not 25 years old. I am older than that. I have grown a lot and healed a lot and matured a lot, and so I do enjoy the sex I had more than I ever did. And more importantly, I never have bad sex anymore. I never have sex so I think afterwards, fuck, why did I do that? And that took a long time to learn how to do because there were plenty of times it's like, wow, well, I can cross that off my list.
Yeah, Big A likes to get fucked in the ass by transsexuals, so.
There you go.
Poor Big Guy. What? He just needs to get laid.
Yeah, he does. Nina, if you've never had like a bad sexual experience while
no,
doing porn?
I no longer have bad sexual experiences.
Even doing porn?
Well, I had plenty of bad times in porn. The time the boat sank, the time the cops showed up, that kind of thing. That is never fun.
Right.
But I've never and the one time that Jamie Gillis went a little too far and pushed limits because he was an asshole, like do that kind of thing. But in terms of bad experiences, as I felt in danger, only when the boat sank. That's when I really felt that's the only time I was ever in danger doing porn. The rest of it was just normal. This is a stupid working environment. But I know I'm going to work to fuck somebody. So I'm comfortable with a lot of behaviors that other people would call that's harassment, that's inappropriate. It's like, we're gonna fuck later. I can't get too worked up over it. I'm sure there's things that I've experienced on set that have to happen to somebody else. She would think it was the worst thing ever. Oh my gosh, she's traumatized by it. And for me, it was like, eh.
Yeah.
So and that's just me. I mean, so I'm not saying. So for me, I have not experienced what I call abuse on the set, but I can see that somebody else could label it that way depending on their point of view. What? The abuse I felt the set that was early on with Jamie Gillis, that was borderline, that was pure assholery, pure jerkishness. And then when the boat sank, that was abuse to the entire cast and crew because it was a refusal to properly vet the safety procedures on the boat that was rented. So that was a unsafe working environment, but it wasn't And that's just because, porn's low budget and full of assholes.
Yeah.
But that wasn't about the sex. I had a good time on the boat that day. The sex was awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't like some guy getting rammed up against the controls that fucked up the boat, right?
No. I'll write about it one day. It was just one of those only in porn. Oh my gosh, how stupid were we to think that what could possibly porn on a boat? What could possibly go wrong? Well, I'll tell you, being rescued by the fire department on special boats. So yeah. Woohoo.
Did you make another porno on the fireboat?
No, we didn't. No, we did not do that.
You didn't think that while you're in the orgy, you look across and the captain's getting fucked. You're like, hold on a second, who's steering this thing?
Right. That's a fun that's definitely a fun fantasy. Yeah. But no, I did not do that.
When did you come up with the idea of doing your Nina Hartley's guide videos?
I always wanted to do sex ed, and again, I'm a nurse, and so sex ed is my business. It's my reason for being. The compassionate person in me wants to spread sexual knowledge because it keeps people sexually ignorant and then blame them for being sexually unhappy, which really seems to be mean and foolish. And I can't fuck all the people myself. I said the movies. And there's a portion of the portion of sexuality that is a skill set that can be learned, like learning how to chop an onion or learning how to change a tire. There is a physical component to how to have quote unquote good sex that can be taught. You can learn how to stroke a penis. You can learn how to put your mouth on a vulva. You can learn how to rub a shoulder or pull hair or give a kiss in a way that's more likely to make your partner happy versus not. I can't tell you how to meet people. I can't tell you how to quote unquote make them fall in love with you. But once you have gained, consent, which is not the absence of no, but a statement of mutual intention. Once you've gained consent through lawful means, then I can help you. Then I can say, you can try this, you can try that. Nina, my partner can only do these two, because I'm very practical minded, so, and some people, and don't forget, not every couple can do every position.
Right.
And so depending on the angle of the dangle, the length of the penis, how big is her ass, how big is his tummy, how, the state of the knee, the state of someone's lower back, the state of the, so every couple can find one or two positions that will work. And it may not look like regular positions. It may be a spooning thing or a half scissors, and you're both sort of on your back. And so it's a little slower, and the orgasms change over time. So it used to be that he could do intercourse to orgasm, but now, you know what? He has to take it out and jerk himself the last couple of inches simply because he needs more stimulation because he's not 30 anymore. So bodies change, and having as open a mind about as long as you're both getting off in the same room in relatively speaking the same time frame.
Close enough to each other.
Yes, exactly. My belief is it shouldn't matter how. I always need a vibrator. I don't care how good you are. My husband is really good. He's a good fuck. He's a good pussy eater, and he spent a lot of time getting girls very, very excited. And I still need to be in charge of my own orgasm. He can get other girls off, but I need to do it myself. That's just the way that it is. And he's smart enough not to take it personally and make it an issue, because if he made it an issue, then I wouldn't want to have sex with him anymore, because stop annoying me. And so because he's smart not to do that, he's just happy to be in the room. Golly gosh, I get to be next to a masturbating woman. Poor me, darn.
Yeah, really, I'd be upset when he started doing that.
I know, right? Boo-hoo-hoo. Yeah. And so he usually comes first, and then I'm right behind him. 2 minutes with a vibrator, and I'm done. And we're done. It's lovely, fabulous. But if I got upset, you're not giving me my orgasm, or if he got upset, I'm not giving her an orgasm, we'd have a fight. And I'd feel inadequate. He'd feel inadequate. And it was, please. That's why they make vibrators. Plug it into the wall. Go to town. Have a good time. Go to sleep.
I'm not.
No, you mustn't be. Okay. You mustn't be intimidated. Vibrators are your friend. They were designed as labor-saving devices for doctors. They are not your competition. They can't kiss you, hug you, hold you, take out the trash, or bring you tea in the morning. A vibrator is a tool. And especially as women's bodies change after menopause, they often need more stimulation to get off at the end. They need extra lubrication because the lubrication dries up. It's not because she doesn't love you. It's because she's older and she needs some extra lube. Get the fucking ginormous bottle and stop bitching.
Chris gets intimidated when his girlfriend uses like a 13-inch black dildo that's like 3 inches wide.
Well, you know what? But think of it. But dildos are dildos are all the fun of other partners and none of the danger.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what she uses.
Right, good for you. And you know what? You can get a whole selection of penis sleeves. You can go to fleshlight.com and you can get my vulva, Stoya's vulva. There's like 20 different vulvas to get. I think they'll feel the same on the inside, but they look different. So
we could buy that for Big A. This way he's not getting laid. At least he could get something.
Chris wants to get fucked in the ass with a fucking penis.
Actually. No, the Fleshlight sleeves get the auto mount, so the one you can mount so you can use hands-free, have a smooth surface, but it lets you thrust more naturally, especially in the shower. They're awesome. The Fleshlights are a really high-quality male sex toy. I really recommend them highly. There's lots of really cool.
I think Big A has one.
Big A has one, but he calls it a fleshlight, but we call it a thimble.
Nina, have you ever?
Oh, you're terrible! You're terrible! Oh my God!
Have you ever had anybody ask you to be like, like a couple, basically to come in there, like sexual surrogate kind of deal?
I've done plenty of cuckold scenes. Usually it's with the black actor and the so-called white husband is stuck in the corner watching helplessly while the big black buck shows him how it's done. Cuckolding is 99.9% interracial. And the cuck is the husband, and the bull is the person doing the fucking. Was almost always an African American bull and a white cuck. I think it'd be funny to do a black cuck and a white bull just for shits and giggles.
Paul would love to do that.
I don't know any black actor who would put himself in the position, even if it's pretend. I think it'd be funny, a funny genre-bending thing to do.
Well, Eddie Murphy's looking for a good movie. It's been a while.
Right.
Did you get any shit for playing Hillary Clinton in that Palin spoof?
No, I never got. I mean, I know if I went and looked for mean things said about me for doing that, I'm sure I could find it, but I have not had any negative blowback from that, no.
So is there anything you've done on camera that your husband's actually got annoyed about in some way? Or you can just tell that something's just not, he doesn't feel too happy about it?
If I work with bigger bodied women or the queer porn, he's not super thrilled about that because he's not queer. He's heterosexual, so he likes to see me fuck pretty girls. But I'm attracted to a wide variety of. I'm attracted to a wide variety of women. Some of whom are bigger than what would be considered conventionally pretty, but I still find them appealing. And I haven't done scenes with them much over years, but as I get older, it's like, fuck you, I'm going to fuck who I want. Fuck you to the world. And he says he doesn't watch those scenes. There's plenty of scenes that he likes to watch, and that's not a problem. And the girls and the women we have over when we've had threesomes are all, height and weight proportionate, feminine women. A big age range though. 28 to 40, 28 to 42 years old. Mm-hmm. So we actually prefer 35 plus because we're 50 plus. So.
It's funny. It's funny that he doesn't like watch you having sex with chubby women. When I'd be more pissed off about watching you getting roused by some massive guy.
Oh, that didn't bother him at all. That didn't bother him at all. Oh no, he just he likes good sex performance. He likes watching. People often say, "Well, Nina, what's your husband say?" It's like action and cut.
Yeah, cut, record. Can you suck it harder? Can you tickle his balls?
Right, exactly. No, this is point your pussy over here, darling.
Yeah.
So, but that's why we're good partners for each other because our sexualities are very compatible. It's really important that the couple sexuality be compatible enough. There's enough overlapping in the Venn diagrams you can make a life of it. There's certain things he only does with other women, and there's certain things I only do with other people because he doesn't like certain things that I like, and I am not super femme, and I like it when he gets to play with women who are really very feminine in their very nature. They're girly girls, and he has fun with girly girls because he is heterosexual. He's not bisexual. He likes heterosexual women, and I'm not one.
Right.
I'm a woman and I like men, but I'm not heterosexual.
Is it gay for a wife to put a strap on and fuck the husband in the ass?
That's Paul's fantasy. That is his fantasy.
No, it's not. And I'll tell you why. Gay is who you love, not what you do.
There you go.
So your orientation is heterosexual. You love women. You don't want it to be a guy's dick. You want it to be a woman with a strap on. I mean, the person who wants it. If what you want to see when you look over your shoulder is female, by definition, you're not gay. The anus is a gender-neutral orifice. Every human has one unless they've had surgery to remove it because of illness.
How do you
It's
shit?
a whole other problem.
You call it removed.
Well, no, through a bag. I mean,
Nice.
it changes everything. So, and anyway, so 99.999% of humans have anuses. Doesn't matter what their preferred partner looks like. And anuses are really filled with all kinds of fun nerves. Woohoo! And so if it feels good to have those nerves stimulated with a finger, a toy, or a penis, have at it. And since you are a straight man and you don't want it to be a penis, it has to be a toy. Therefore, it can be sparkly. It can be blue, purple, yellow, pink.
Well, Paul's not sure yet. He needs to try that before the.
I'm not gonna have a go at near me with one that has a fucking helmet and ribs down the side of it.
No, of course, no.
That would be gay.
If you go online to goodvibes.com, you'll see all kinds of pokey things. That some of them are just completely featureless. They're completely smooth, no bumps, no turns, no bulges, no ripples, all the way to seriously. And it's a great store. And more importantly, if you call during business hours and talk to a clerk, they're all educated, take continuing education courses on how to talk to people. Their job is to help you find the right toy for you and your partner.
Cool.
Absolutely is.
I bought Big A butt plug, and he thought it was actually a model of his penis that I was selling.
Oh, you're mean.
Isn't he a prick?
He is a prick. That's very prick. It's very prickish.
Now you know why I don't want to do it all.
So Nina, what's next for you?
What's next is I am starting to create videos for my sex education sites that I'm working on with a young woman named Ashley Manta. We're creating. This is non-nude, strictly dress sex education. So this would be safe for work sex ed with talking heads. And so finally found someone I can work with over the long term, which is very nice, who also likes to do it. For me, education is really where it's at. I mean, I love sex entertainment. I'll always be willing to put on a glove and have a sexy time on camera, but I'm getting fucked on camera by men is getting less and less interesting to me because it's been done. And
that's how Big A feels too.
Most of the porn made in Southern California is pretty boring and pretty conventional and not very interesting. And I've done it all. There's just no new way to do it. But I'll always be interested in performing in my own material. So I have a Clips for Sale store, CLIPS, the number 4, SALE, Clips for Sale. You can do a search there. And a lot of stuff from my website, which is awesome. It's not safe for work. Don't go there from work.
Yeah, really Big A. That's right. You don't work. Yeah.
And then my not safe for work website is Nina.com, and there's hundreds of hours of footage there talking about sex, showing sex, lots and lots of hot girl sex. I'm almost always wearing the strap on and fucking them. That's a lot of fun.
So
add me some fun.
I was showing. Go ahead.
Oh, and then I have my toy from Fleshlight, so that pays me money. And I do scenes. I just did a scene last week. I do coaching and counseling and consulting, like what I was doing here on the radio, but alone and in private with people.
How does one get to have a one-on-one with Nina? And I don't mean a sexual encounter.
Yeah. What you do is you go to Twitter and follow me at Nina Land, and then say, "Hey, Nina, I want to talk to you about business." And then I will follow you back, and then we can start doing the direct message, the DM, and we take it from there.
Big A wants to do a DP.
When the new site comes up, I'm sure there'll be a way to hire Ashley, myself, or the two of us together for coaching and consulting as well.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. We're looking forward to that. So do you ever think you'll retire? Because Big A's a big
Oh,
fan.
and I do one-on-one dirty Skype. I do streaming. I do camming, and I often am on adult verified call, and so you can, pay money to talk to me live one-on-one for a certain amount of money per minute. And it can be counseling or phone sex. Mostly it's phone sex, but it can be whatever. So there are definitely ways to get a hold of me.
Could you give Big A a discount since he's in need of live sex?
Yeah, can you give Big A like 1 minute of what? Can you give him like 1 minute of what phone sex would be? He only lasts a minute. So.
Because it depends on what I ascertain if the person's alone, is he already hard, is he naked, and then I walk through a very simple. Most people want something very vanilla. I walk in. Of course, I'm always wearing exactly what they want me to be wearing because I tell them to imagine that I'm wearing whatever they want me to be wearing. And I start with a blowjob and usually end up with a couple of positions. And then I hear the guy on the other end of the line making happy noises, and then we're done.
You know what? You wouldn't make any.
You're very good.
You wouldn't make any money off of Big A because you'd be like, "Hi, I'm Nina Hartley," and he'd be like,
Well, see, so you prepay for at least 5 minutes.
Oh, there you go, Big A.
That's the short amount of time. If the client hangs up before so he's prepaid. So as soon as I accept the call, I got the money. Now, if he hangs up first, I get all the money. If I hang up first, it's prorated. So if I hang up on him, I lose money. But if he hangs up if he finishes sooner than the time he has taken, then I get all the money.
You know how your Big A would send you a photo and then you'd hang up?
No, but see, what I love about the phone sex is I don't have to know what you look like. I can't know what you look like. It's great.
There you go.
Does anyone ever ask you to pretend to be a different porn star?
Get laid all the time.
No, they have not. I wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, right. Okay, great. Nina, it's been so cool talking to you.
All righty.
Thank you, Nina.
I'll talk to you in a couple of months.
Can you do us a bumper? Can you just say, "This is Nina Hartley, and you're listening to Dysfunctional with Paul and Denise," or something like that?
You're listening to Dysfunctional with what?
Paul and Denise, something like that?
You got it. I will do that.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Nina Hartley, and you're listening to Dysfunctional Podcast with Paul and Denise.
Awesome.
Thanks, Nina.
Nina, thank you. Sorry about the hang-up. I apologize.
No worries. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Nina.
Bye, Nina. Take care.